Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thems and theys, to the podcast Daddy Variety Show, the show that has no rhyme or reason, just things in season. Now here's the host with a wiener to match his demeanor, the podcast Daddy.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
And we are recording.
Yay! We're just recording, right?
We're just recording.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank the merciful Lord. Whew. I was like, oh, please don't make me do this high. Like, I rarely stream when I'm stoned, and I don't want this to be a recording high. Because I know you already got enough fucking evidence on me that could put me in a fun place with fun other people that have done super fun things. Super fun things to the government and the people around them.
All right, we're recording. We're 30 seconds in, so would you like me to introduce us?
Yeah, run for it. Do it.
All right. Sexy voice Deadman here. Welcome to the podcast Daddy Variety Show, where our host is the podcast daddy, Gibby Gibbler himself. If you haven't tuned in, tune in on Dark Charm Media, because Gibby himself is not only a writer, but a storyteller as well. And we're here to talk about some fun shit we witnessed today. And now, here's your host, Gibby.
Damn. Okay, two things. One, nice way to figure out which fucking show we're doing here. Really appreciated that. I seen the train kind of tilt on the fucking tracks with that. Second, hello everybody. It's nice to see you. Today we watched some things that would give us not direction, I want to say, but put us in actual emotion for just being a fucking show. So me and Deadman had watched. To preface this, I said I was not a fan of Hazbin Hotel. And I'll give my honest opinion before we actually dive into it. It's a show I like. It is a good show. I'm watching it once. That's all I'm watching it with. But it's not the same disrespect that I would throw onto Velma.
Yeah.
It's not the same disrespect. I thought Velma was fucking stupid. I stand by that. Hazbin Hotel just deals with a lot of heavy shit. And when I watch stuff like that, the second time that it comes around or more that I see it, it loses the umph behind it. And it's not just with that show. It's with a bunch of shit like Shameless or shitty people being shitty shows. Like the umph that they have is lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Shameless. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I'm just not a fan of a show that just showcases shitty people being shitty all the fucking time.
That's all Vizzy-Pop shit is. We really just watched a show about shitty people being shitty. And that was the point I brought up, is they're shitty people doing shitty things.
All right, let's start from the beginning, because we've been at this for a while now. According to Discord, we had a call that lasted almost 5 hours, not including the current comic book state of a show that is called Invincible. So let's start with Invincible. Let's go ahead and get this little review of the current season over, and we'll get to Hazbin Hotel, because I know a lot of people are going to click on that name. So let's start with Invincible.
Yeah, we're not gonna
clickbait you, folks.
Smokes. Yeah, we're not gonna give you a whole pack of smokes and be like, here, take it for free. We got to give you some to lighten you up a little bit. You know, start with reds, then go to marble greens, and then we hit you with the Newport.
Then we get to the Newports, yeah. So let's start with Invincible. So we watched the last 2.5 episodes of Invincible today.
Yes.
And written by Robert Kirkman and animated by Amazon. And had a lot of Very, very, very disturbing and deep themes. You want to talk about how hard that was to watch?
Okay, so yeah, that was real fucking rough, especially because I read the series, but I did a very quick like burn through a lot of information, not able to retain a lot of stuff, so my memory of it is kind of hazy. But there's shit I remember the entire time. I said if you haven't watched Invincible season 2, spoilers, it's gonna be fucking spoilers galore.
Yeah,
So
spoilers
you
from
don't.
here on out. If you haven't watched it, tune away.
Yeah, but if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I thought that when he went into the time dimension, stupid shit, when he went into the dimension to another realm, that he would stay there, and it was a time lapse. Apparently, I was wrong because I think the last episode, all Deadman here heard me say was, "If it ends how I think it's going to end, I'm going to punch my mic." For about 5 minutes, that's all I had to say, because if it ended on the time warp and we don't know when season 3 is coming, probably wouldn't have watched the new season. I just said, fuck it, I don't care. If I haven't seen it, I don't got nothing to say about it.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a season that is. I know so many people have read rather than watched Invincible, and there's some scenes that are most definitely, when you're reading the comic book, you're like, yeah, this happens and this happens. But to see it not only vocally acted out, but acted out with animation, to see the things that are talked about in the comic book kind of played out in a pseudo real life scenario, I think they have a little bit more gravitas than they did in the comics. And I think that kind of hits you a little bit harder than you expected, right?
It has really done that a lot. Like season 2 had a fuck ton more moments like that. Season 1 where where Mark and Omni-Man fight. That shit is just brutal. It's mean because they just go punch for punch.
Yeah, think, Mark.
Yeah,
that fucking scene alone is iconic.
especially the train scene, and I understand why that is acclaimed as like a visually spectacular scene. Just the animators as of lately are flexing their dick so hard right now on so many things that we can't even be upset about it. Like I don't know what coke y'all are doing, what drugs you guys have. Please keep taking them. If me supporting these shows gets you to keep doing stuff like this, I will pay for whatever drug you are taking to do this.
Not only that, but to mention the idea that at the end of season 1, we had some very hefty moments, right? Like we had the idea of Mark having to come to grips with the idea that his dad's a villager, right? And the idea that they're there to take over the earth. But season 2 deals with these themes on a much deeper level. Not to mention Anissa finally being introduced in season 2 for Invincible. And for those of you who have not read the comics, there is something very disturbing coming in.
Do it.
For those of you that have read the comics, you know what's coming. And the idea that they have introduced this character at this point is...
If they fucking start the season out with that, oh, please let that happen. Please let that be the first episode that comes out of season 3. Because I swear to you that the absolute hell that will come from that first episode being that heavy of a topic, someone at that studio is either going to get the, and I cannot emphasize the F enough, the fattest fucking paycheck, or the biggest online ass whooping you will ever see in your life. Yeah. Like Chris Chan will look at that and be like, damn, they could have went a little easy on the dude.
Shit, you didn't involve Chris Chan in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if they do first episode type shit, ass is spanked or getting the fattest paycheck and the sloppiest head. That's exactly what's going to happen. And I am here for both.
And the idea that, we as viewers, as readers, are going to be privy to this is really interesting because I'm an old school reader, right? I read Robert Kirkman, who wrote The Walking Dead, who wrote Invincible. I've been reading him for years and years and years and years.
I read Kirkman.
Yeah, right. Though you imagine how pretentious I sound so pretentious right now. It's disturbing.
That sounds pretentious. I read Kirkman. Have you not?
I read Kirkman. Did you? It's a good sir.
You The Walking Dead. You've seen the show. I spit on trash like you. You should know that.
How dare
You should know that Andrea dies, or Andrea lives.
Yeah, no shit though, right?
Oh, whoops! Wait, no, she does die. Oopsie.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not till the very fucking end. Like the
Spoilers.
It's been out for a long fucking time. If you haven't caught up on it,
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking you problem. But yeah, no, she dies. She's on until like the last arc that I read, at least. But that's been God knows how fucking long.
Yeah, but we all know who my favorite Walking Dead character is.
Carl.
It is not Coral.
Coral.
It is the man who I tried to voice several times in my professional voice acting career. Holy shit.
What?
This is Lucille, and she is
that guy.
awesome.
Okay.
Negan is my favorite Walking Dead character, but we're not going to get into that shit right now. We're gonna talk a little bit about just a tiny bit about Invincible, because there is some scenes that I took great joy in giving Gibby a new sense of observation when it comes to regards to not only the lines but the scenes themselves. You want to talk a little bit about that? Let's talk a little bit about the lines. The line itself, I thought you were stronger.
Fuck that line. Fuck that line. Fuck that line. Fuck that line. Okay. I know he's waiting for mine because so the whole point, I will argue that is not a heavy that is a heavy line, because you think about it. All right, get your big boy pants on, get your helmets on, because we're about to go on a little trip here, folks. Pack your lunches, get your attendance slips signed, because we're going to go on a fucking adventure with this. So what you have to think is, obviously, Mark is not 100% Viltrumite, right? Not 100%. Right. He's got 50 human, 50 Viltrumite. So obviously, if you've watched it, you'll find that Viltrumites are kind of cock knobs and don't have any emotions. Like, the only emotion they show is anger, and that's it. That's fucking it. So they show nothing. Humans, we know we're all a bunch of crybabies. If you say you're not, you're fucking lying. You just cry over certain things. Okay, some of you cry over everything. Some of you cry at very minimal things. Still makes you a crybaby, because when you do cry, you cry. So shut up. Let's move along from this. So once you think about it, after Mark, and again, spoilers here, so if you don't know what happens in the last 2 episodes, go fucking watch this, come back, and I'll probably still be talking about it. But after he beats the absolute fucking brakes off that scientist, he says one line, okay? One single line, and that just sets a precedent for the next 10 minutes. And that line is, I thought you were stronger. Now, a normal person would think, okay, so he said that to the guy he just beat the shit out of, and brain matter being a new hair dye. After
that's a beautiful way of saying it, actually.
I had to think about that one. I was going to say brain matter is highlights, but I feel like that's not trashy enough. It needs to be hair dye. So anyways, he says that line, and you're thinking, okay, well, he just beat the shit out of this guy. So of course he's going to think, I thought you were stronger. Like, you should not have died this easy. But then, now, mind you, this is because I'm high, and I wouldn't catch that as a sober person. So just be very, very aware of this statement. After he hit him and said, you're not strong enough, or I thought you were stronger. Sorry, I thought you were stronger. You realize that he's not talking. He's not talking to the guy he just beat the fuck out of. he's talking about himself, because a lot of the times he said, I'm going to be stronger than you, or I'm not going to be like you, to Omni-Man. But it's always the key point of I will be strong enough. So after he does that, he realizes he killed somebody as he's walking into the desolate desert, not knowing anything, not knowing of this dimension he's put in. He starts to talk to himself. And I mean, really like schizo posting, talking to himself. And the one line that follows, fucking allergies, the one line that follows that really just kind of catches your attention if you really like look at it. I thought you said you were stronger.
I thought you were stronger.
Yes, and that just coincides because you're just sitting there watching like, ooh, so you finally just admit to yourself that you have done the bad thing. And you're feeling regret. But I missed a step, and that is apologies on my end. But we were skipping across the talking to himself because just mentioned it. But one thing that you really notice is it's not Mark talking to Mark, like just having a normal thought process. It's human Mark talking to Viltrumite Mark. It's those two just going back and forth. Like, don't make this seem like it's a big scene where it's this big orchestral performance where two heads are yelling. It's just dude talking to himself. But you can notice the different answers. The human side would say, yeah, what I did was probably fucked up. It wasn't right. I should have done that. But the Viltrumite side is, you needed to kill him. He was a bad person. You had to do it. It just justifying it. So yeah, that's the end of that. Thank you for coming on this adventure with me. Don't forget to stop at the gift shop.
And the idea that the Viltrumite side of Mark is somewhat war with the human side of him is one of the most fascinating parts of that episode, because we do have him outright admit how much he's been holding back. Because every time we watch Mark gets his ass whooped so much in this series. In fact, when Anissa is introduced, she kind of gives him a clinic on what Viltrumites are supposed to do. But we know also through watching these episodes that Alan has lost to Mark. Even in his upgraded form, Alan cannot stand up to Mark. We've seen this in the series. However, Mark somehow loses to Anissa. And And the idea is that Mark has been holding back a lot. Like a lot. Exponentially in this series. So when he's fighting Angstrom
so
Levy,
far, I feel like we never actually get to see his full strength till farther in. And it's,
we don't get to see it in the comics till way fucking later.
yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, we don't get to see him go full ham until actually later.
Oh yeah, but in this series, we see him face Anissa. Anissa essentially checks his nuts at the door. But when he's fighting Angstrom Levy, and he says the line, I thought you were stronger. We have to imagine not only the idea that he's talking to himself, because one thing he always prided himself on is that he's not his father. His father is a murderer, Omni-Man. And it's beautiful in some of the cinematography we've seen in this show so far. It is, and I pinned a little medal on my coat because I remember a conversation Gibby and I had a while ago about the idea of what's more brutal, reading it or watching it. I always advocated for watching it. It's so much more brutal than reading it. And I think the second season of Invincible has finally given us that edge, that visual perception of not only pain but hearing the voice actors go through what they go through to record this is so much more jarring psychologically than it is to just read it through a comic book. What do you think?
I'm so okay. I'll give okay. God damn it. Okay. Whew. So for anybody who is not watching this, for people who are listening to it and don't get a visual, you didn't just see what I seen. So combine this man's voice, his facial hair he has, and how he's looking right now. And all I see is a fucking Reddit moderator just stroking his chin.
I'm drunk as fuck, so I got nothing left to stroke, Bubba. I'm on camera.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I was listening. I heard everything you said, but just watching this has been the most joyous occasion in the last 24 hours.
Well, that's why I didn't turn the camera on while we were watching the shit.
The same here. Okay. Whew. Yeah. No, God. Okay. All right. Back into. Whew. So, yes, the heavy moments that happen in the comic, you read them. And I told Deadman this at the very beginning. Actually, before we even started watching this, because I had just finished I just got caught up on Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, I really didn't think the scenes would be this heavy when it came to the show. And then you watch, Rex get his fucking brain splattered on the floor, and you watch everybody of the Guardians of the Globe die. Like, it's not even you think there's going to be a chance of winning because, like the rest of us, you've seen nothing but good guy gets beat down, good guy gets ass whooped, almost dies, pulls something out of his hat, bada boom, he's the winner, gets the girl and kisses the mayor. We've all seen that, so we were prepared for that. But you watch them die, and whoever does the sound design for Invincible, you need the most enthusiastic hand job, dude, because you are picking the most noise fucking ear crunching sounds to ever exist. When you hear a bone break, it's not like one of those other shows where it's just no, it is like you feel where they get fractured and you're just like, I want to kill myself. This is terrible.
Yeah.
You
feel like you want to call 911 after hearing some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. I heard that. No way, that wasn't my shit. So it's a lot of that. And I think the one that really fucked me up was the duplicate one. When she got just slam, bam. Oh, fuck. And I don't know why Rex getting shot in the back of the dome killed me more too.
Because of the human aspect of it. Because we associate all these superheroes with superhero personas. The idea that a gunshot would harm or disable a superhero, we rarely think about the consequences of it, because Rex is essentially a human being when it comes down to it. But his superpowers, of course, put him on the Guardians of the Globe. And this was one of those scenes where we have weight to the consequences of not paying attention.
I don't like that.
Nobody does.
I don't like that shit at all, because again, it makes sense. Like, if you don't know your team, or if you're going up against shit you don't know, you're gonna get fucked up. And then that's exactly what happens. You watch them slip up and watch them get fucked up, and you're like, I told you. I told you. Like, you're yelling at the TV because you see it coming. You see them about to get fucked up. And I think it really messes with me when I see it and then see them die, because it's like, that is a heavy ass.
It's a moment.
Ooh, that is a moment. I don't like this. I'm going to keep watching this, but I'm going to be uncomfortable the entire time. And I think it's because we don't see cartoons deal with gore and blood that much. Like something in that.
I honestly
that
think it's because we don't see our heroes fall. We never see our
True.
heroes fall. We see them make bad decisions, like in The Boys. Even in Ultimate Spider-Man, when he goes in to beat up Fisk in the prison, we see our heroes make bad decisions, but we never see them fall. The last time we truly felt someone fall, I have to say, was the death of Superman.
Never read it. No idea. You're explaining it. Have not a clue what it is.
And that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I know what it is. I
But
just don't know much
just the
about it.
words themselves carry such a weight. The death of Superman. I don't give a fuck what kind of a comic book you're or a fan you are. The idea of Superman dying is absolutely heartbreaking. It's wrenching. There is weight behind those words. So when we see a hero of ours die, even if it is somebody like Rex Splode, who's kind of a piece of shit and a
Kind of a
misogynist,
douche.
yeah. To hear the idea that he gets half of his brain blown out by a Glock, it hurts. You know?
Yeah, and then he gets. It's even worse because he gets up and just the hole is just there. Like they don't hide it. It's just a big, like half his head's missed, like half his skull's missing. You see his brain and the chunks, and you're just like, fuck you guys for doing so good.
Yeah.
Like you guys couldn't have toned it down. And then you think Knox, it was more toned down. I'd be pissed off about that.
And then we have the last line of the season for season 2, because season 2 does take a trip. Mind you, I want everyone listening to know that if you haven't watched Invincible season 1 and season 2, I highly recommend it. Robert Kirkman was essentially neutered from The Walking Dead for AMC, but Amazon is letting him run rampant. And what is the last line of the season?
I miss my wife.
I think I miss my wife. And it has so much impact when you know, not think.
Calls her his fucking dog.
I know, it's fucked. But let's move past that, because I think both you and I can put the Gibby podcast variety show stamp of approval.
Oh fuck yeah, we do. I give that motherfucker like a stomp, like a curb stomp stamp of approval. What do you mean?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, and I'm just excited for season 3 now because, all right, I'm gonna dip my dick in this for a second because before we get off the Invincible topic, season 3, if it does not have the Viltrumite, like him going up against some mean motherfuckers like they did in season 2, I'm gonna fucking riot. And if they skip over that scene with Anissa, I know it's a hard scene, folks. We're gonna deal with something that's pretty fucking rough, but season 3 needs to have it because that is such an impactful plot line in the story that we cannot gloss over it.
No.
Or if they dumb it down, I remember when I said that will either be make him big bucks or a big fuck you. If they tone it down, I will happily be part of the group that's a big fuck you. Like I will so happily be against that. Because that is a scene that holds so much weight later on in the story too. And there is one gigantic fucking plot line that you can't have because you don't get it. You don't get one of the characters. So if you don't do it, I hope you get castrated.
And
can you say that? Can you hope somebody gets castrated?
I hope somebody gets their nuts kicked in.
Okay, cool. So we could say castrate. We could say hope somebody gets castrated. I don't know the words, so like I'm just kind of floating by, and the reaction on your face will be if I could say it or not.
Well, this is your show, so I absolutely agree that if they skip the Anissa scene, what happens to Mark, I can absolutely agree that somebody's nuts should be under a butterfly knife.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that would have been one. I would have, like, this would have been I know barely enough, but I know enough to argue type shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's about where it would be, and I would fight that until I am dead in the ground.
So now, before we move on, we're gonna take we're going to take a 2-minute break because I'm full of whiskey and beer, and Gibby is full of marijuana. So we'll be right back.
An extra bacon.
And now we're back.
I added extra cheese. Like I'm a fucking degenerate on YouTube. Why do
Welcome
you put so
back.
much shit on your fucking pizza, Cobra? Why?
Oh,
Everybody
leave Cobra
wants to
out of
know.
this.
They are $50 fucking dollars. You should not be paying for a $50 extra large Domino's pizza. You get your guts, and there's something in them that I need to scientifically see. I want the autopsy report. I will read that shit in front of a stadium of people, so I'm not the only one that has to understand why that man's guts have not fallen out of his asshole yet, because some of that shit is not edible, and you know it. You cannot look at the camera and say that you do not want to eat that shit, because we don't. And motherfucker, I think you just got to be drunk or something.
I'm drunk.
I mean, just eat better food. I don't want you
So
to die.
that's
I
King
need
Cobra
shit to watch.
JFS that he's talking about. But let's talk about our second subject right now. We're moving on. Now, the next subject is something I believe everybody with a girlfriend who's into niche YouTube shit has been forced to watch. However,
Shit.
when you move past the surface level,
I'm the girlfriend.
I'm the girlfriend too, man. When you move past the surface level, I guess, novelty of it all, Hazbin Hotel, the sister show to
Hell of a boss.
Hell of a Boss, is really, actually, quite, really fucking deep and disturbing. So let's start off with that. Gibby, you want to give us a little bit of a rundown from the episodes we watched tonight?
Technically, I watched the entire season in one night, so it's not just episodes that I watched. It's because remember, we started from episode 2.
Yep.
My guy, we did not start no episode 4 nor 5. It was 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I experienced the whole show in one night. I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say it again like I did at the beginning of the show. I liked it. It was good, but I'm also stoned, and I will definitely not watch it again unless forces be make me. That's it. There's just something about it, like I said, in the themes when you see them once, like the show obviously touches on very toxic relationships. A little bit of essay. I'm not trying to downplay that, but a little bit of essay here and there. A lot of drug use.
I don't know what you've done with your microphone, but it's sounding like shit right now.
Damn you! What is your issue?
There we go.
Okay, I don't know what I did, but I fixed it. I just moved it away from my face. Where was that? Oh yeah, so it deals with a lot of heavy topics, and
A lot of heavy topics.
this is not a show you want to watch if you want to have a good day. Like if you want to be happy throughout your day, don't listen to this shit.
No.
Because it will put the mirror in front of you and go, "Oh, you thought you were bad? How about you just look at this for a second?" You're like, "Wow, I'm really a shit heel, aren't I? Damn." I thought it was just me being funny. Ooh. And now I will say, before we continue on with Hazbin Hotel, before anybody hits me with the comments of, "Oh, did you know that Vizzy Pop did this, this, this?" Yes. I've watched 85 videos. I've done my research. I know Vizzy Pop is kind of a cunt. Okay? We can just move on from it. I don't care about the explanation anymore. Shit happens. Life goes on. I'm not that much of a Puritan.
Honestly, and we discussed this, there was a lot of gatekeeping when it came not only to Vizzy Pop, but the creator and writer of it all. And yes, I know that there was some people that came out, "Oh, well, she did so." I'm sorry. It's the idea that where you are getting this from is a website that's not only horrifically toxic, but also horrifically.
It's ran by
Oh,
degenerates and deviants.
yes, thank you.
For everybody that was waiting for the pause to end, like me, degenerates and deviants are who that
It
fucking
is
website brings.
severely, yeah. There are people under the. And I'll make the joke here. I made it to Gibby, so I can make it here. Do yourself a favor. Go on AO3 and on the search, type in young.
Don't do it. Don't
See
do
how
it.
many lists you pop up on.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna sound like a fucking bell here, but don't do it. It'll put you on some serious shit, man. It's kind of like going on the B board some days.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna see, and you really are just prepared for the worst. But you can prepare for the worst, but prepare for worse than that.
So this idea that Vizzy Pop and the creator Vizzy Pop is like, oh my God, she or they did. I'm sorry, man. Type in young on AO3, and your argument loses all weight and credibility. Maybe it's just me. But I believe that's the truth. What do you think?
It is okay. That's where it's rough because it's kind of like saying something happened and you have 4 websites, but one of them's a shitty one that you can't really trust the source of, and that's kind of shit because you're throwing out the other 3 sites that might have actual credibility, but because one pops up, you're just gonna go fuck it. You know what I'm?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't do that when it comes to that many sources. Like if it's multiple things, I'm sorry, you cannot just stop at one. Like you have to go through all of it if you want to make an opinion as strong as some people do.
I think the worst, like, it is the pot calling the kettle black. But anyways, moving past that, let's talk about some of the scenes in Hazbin Hotel that actually impacted the way you saw this entire thing. Because I know you're a fan of musicals, just like me. I'm a huge fan of musicals. I don't give a fuck. Try to comfort me. I don't care. All your shots are gonna miss because I don't give a fuck if you think, oh my God, musicals are cringy. I just start a shotgun.
So are shows like 90 Day Fiance, but that's going on its 26th season.
How many fucking seasons did the Kardashians have?
5?
I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. No, you may not give a fuck, but you have piqued the tism, my friend. Oh, no. So now I must see.
While you find that,
dude, no fucking way am I right.
Was there 5? Was it really 5?
Yes.
You sick fuck. You nasty motherfucker.
I knew it. I don't know why I knew it, but I knew that shit. 5 seasons of that bullshit. That's fantastic. That's great.
And you had people modeling their entire lives after these fucking plastic man people. But anyways.
That's like Jersey Shore.
That's another one. It's just, no thank you. Anyways. Getting to Hazbin Hotel. Let's start off with the earlier episodes, right? Because there was some shit that just had to be fucking tackled. There was some things that were not cool, and a lot of people talked about it, but not really to the point of exploring certain things. Like Radio Killed the Video Star, which is episode 2. Which is where we find out where Alistair, the radio demon, of course, my favorite character, the most evil one of all, comes back to the whole foray of hell. And we see Vox, who is essentially a TV demon, and Valentino react to the entire thing. And there were some themes in there that were really cool. There was a song in there, Stayed Gone, that was really cool. But what did you think in the end?
Like my whole thought of the show or
that episode?
It was nice to see. Episode 2 felt like it didn't have a lot, just felt like more world building. And I got world building, so I'm not bitching, but it just seemed a little. The song was the only thing that I really remember from that episode. Where it
And
was
the visual. Not only that the visual of Alistair at the end you said was wicked.
Anytime they show Alistair's true form, I pop a chub every time because it is so perfectly drawn. It's not overtly detailed to where it needs to be scary, where it needs to be scary, but it has the right details and the right places to make it really pop out at you.
And it is rather horrifying. For those of you who are like, it's right. It really is kind of horrifying.
I mean, it is just a giant deer. Like, I'm not going to argue that fact. But they do it. They did it justice by making it look as terrifying as it does. But again, it is just a deer.
Right. I love that episode because once again it's Alistair, very Alistair centric. So Alistair's my favorite. But there is visuals where you start to kind of grasp the gravity of certain aspects of the show that's not really explored on other episodes, but this one is kind of one of those where it's like, that's terrifying.
I mean, because that's not even. That was episode 2. Okay, move on. Yeah, move on from that because I don't remember a whole fuck ton from that.
That's right. Episode 3, Scrambled Eggs. We learn about Sir Pinchus and what he's doing there. Also, Vox. Yeah, I can't believe you remembered his fucking name.
Okay, look. Well, none of them have names, so
They all
obviously
have
the
names.
one that has a name, he's
Stood out.
he's important. So I got to remember his name. I remember everybody else's name except nope, Vaggie. Never mind. That's how I can tell this show made me remember the characters. Like they did very character eccentric storylines because I can remember characters I don't like.
Yeah.
So anyways, continue on with that.
And also in episode 3, we have some Broadway stars that are singing on this soundtrack that really, really hit the mark. And I think you and I can agree on that.
Oh, the way that they present themselves even behind a fictional character is still amazing. Like you would think Broadway stars, considering they do have to somewhat act also. Like it's not just singing, but they do have to act. So seeing them go into voice acting roles really, really catches you off guard. Oh no, he's putting porn on in the background.
No, sorry.
Is that what this show turned into?
I
Porn
clicked
in
the wrong
background?
thing. That's my bad.
But yeah, like I was like, it's amazing to see them do voice acting work and not seem like they aren't voice actors.
Very much so. Yeah. Like you definitely feel the weight of the characters.
Okay, what are the fucking birds? I've heard this for the last 5 hours.
Oh,
What are these birds?
That's Orion's. He's watching Dog TV.
Oh, okay. I've heard this for the last 5 hours, and I was so confused as to what I was hearing. So I was like, no way, it's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning yet. I ain't even went to bed.
Yeah, no, so not a lot happens in Scrambled Eggs. We do have some actors really give their heart out. We get some cool information. But let's really talk about episode 4, Masquerade.
Hold on. Wait. Didn't season 3 show them that they killed an angel?
It did.
Yeah, so we're just gonna blindly skip over the killing the angel.
Like killing the angel thing is important for the plot overall. I'm talking about more of the performance and the impact because there's so much happening.
Doing performance and impact. Okay.
Yeah, there's so much happening in that episode that it really kind of gets glossed over, even in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we had a giant dinosaur mommy that you were like, "I'll climb that mountain." You were. Maybe you were stoned or drunk. I don't know. But you were like,
Yeah, I'll climb that.
and a bar ride hit on that.
I fear no God.
I fear no god or mountain to climb.
Oh, gonna add this quick before we continue on, because now Deadman's looking at a screen and is not paying attention to me. Kong and Godzilla, the new movie. Go watch it if you haven't. There is no story. Yeah. There's a story, but it is so fucking bare skin skeleton that you don't even remember it. All you're there for is giant animals fighting, and you know what the fuck you get in this movie? Giant animals fighting in zero gravity. They heard the fans when we said kaiju fight. Less story. Fuck the people. And
I think all of Godzilla versus Kong New Empire, I think it boils down to one line. When I get my hands on that big monkey bitch.
That's all I needed.
That's it.
I watched that movie and I was so stoked. I thought they picked an orangutan for
the Scar King.
Yeah. I thought it was I thought they were doing an orangutan for that. Like a big old fat guy.
But no.
But no, we got Meth Head the monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, don't try to act like that wasn't a good one.
That was a good one. I was just trying not to go too far with it. Let's talk about, however, the episode that hurt you the most. And I can honestly say that, like, with no qualification whatsoever. Episode 4, Masquerade. Where we hear the song
episode 4.
Poison. You want to tell everybody about your experience? First watch, then second watch?
Okay. So the first watch, you don't realize a lot of things. Like, it's I'm a slut living a terrible life. Look at how it's all going. It's like I'm stuck here, so I might as well make the best of it. First watch through, I was like, damn, that was a pretty good song. I now understand why people think I would only know Poison and none of the other shit that they have in it. Are you whacking it right now? Okay. All right. Watching you. Hand check. I'm going to hand check every 2 minutes now. Okay. So you watch that video and you're like, all right, that's a cheesy pop song. But I have this thing because I have known Deadman for a couple of years now. And he obviously is older than I am. So I haven't really dived into the realm of niche internet bullshit or niche video, movie, just any form of entertainment. Like, my knowledge is very couple layers. Yeah, it's surface level, maybe a couple layers down, but not by much. So I go to him for entertainment, and he sends me good shit. Like, it's never bad. But after, like, certain scenes, he'll know when I'm watching it, because at some point during my watch, I will just type out, "Fuck you, Deadman." But real name, so it adds a little bit more weight to it. After I watched this the second time, I was already in a call, so I didn't have to text it. I explained that story, and I said, but I'm going to add a new one tonight, and I'm going to do it here on the show, too. You're a motherfucker, Deadman, because the second watch of that broke my heart. Because not only... This is one of those musical things where you got to watch the video so it makes sense. Because I asked Deadman that a lot, is if I have to watch this, or can I just walk away for a second to get some coffee? But watching the expression change from when he's in the darkness, because obviously they use lights extremely well in this show.
Yeah.
Like, whoever's doing, again, lighting, great job. The way it transitions and the way it transitions from in the dark. The way it transitions from in the dark to that tiny, and I mean 5-second frame window that they have in that black area between dark and colorful, from his eyes going to, I want to start a shotgun, bam, transition into like bright lighting, to see him go from depression to just fakest smile, fakest excitement you've ever seen, is absolutely heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. And it doesn't happen once in that video like I thought it would. Oh no, it happens so much more. And one thing, like, I don't want to make this sound like I'm stroking the creator's dick. Like, I want that to be explicitly clear. And this is a very weird thing that I'm going to brag about. So just, you got to work with me here. You got to walk with me.
Yeah.
I'm glad they made that character a porn star. I'm glad that was one of its big defining characteristics was being a porn star. Because a lot of the scenes that happen during the song Poison are during shoots. Like they're doing shots and you can just tell he looks miserable. But of course, first time watching that, you're just like, oh, he's doing shoots. Like I know he doesn't want to do them, but like once you watch his facial expressions and even when he's singing on the stage and he has those two giant screens behind him, you can still see those faces. But again, surface level, you're just thinking, oh, he's in shoots. He doesn't want to be there. Like we know this. But it's so much worse when you actually watch his emotions change throughout that entire song. And this is where you speak.
Poison has always been one of those songs to me that when the fandom, right? The fandom, when they finally get a hold of it, they're very much appreciative of the lyrics, right? The lyrics of Poison.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up dead from your poison. You know, I take a big gulp, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so many people, rightfully so, associate it with a toxic relationship. And it is wonderful to hear. However, watching the break in these visuals, this shadow come over Angel's eyes and his constant expression of pain and panic, and the last 3 or 4 seconds of the song when he's audibly breaking down. It's some of the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking things you could ever experience as somebody is a fan of this series. Because Angel played against a character like Husker. You kind of like, haha, yeah, fuck with them, yeah, get them, yeah. Then you watch that song, and you realize how hard it is for Angel to do the things that he's doing, and it makes you feel absolutely filthy because up until this, which was of course episode 4, you're kind of cheering on Angel in a weird way. You know what I mean? You're kind of like
cheering on his degenerate behaviors too.
Yeah.
Because without this, you just think he's another porn star living off drugs. Like that's what you're thinking. So of course you're just like, yeah, you do you, boo boo. Until you watch shit like that, and you're like, oh, I feel like a dickhole now.
Much like the reaction you had, which was genuinely, for me, very satisfying because I've been very much aware of this since the first time I watched the show. Because of course, I'm not gonna toot my own horn or brag, but you know, as Katie has said,
Honk honk.
No. As you have said, I take weird dives into the media, right? Like we did with Invincible. I've taken weird dives into the media and even the way it's presented. And I know, like, and we haven't talked about this before on the show, but we'll talk about it a little bit, real quick. We've both read Invincible, the comic, and and upon reading it, it's really not that difficult to read because you're like, that character deserves that. This character deserves that. Oh, this happened. It's not that bad. But when you transfer it to another medium of having to hear somebody act it out or watch it being literally physically presented to you of what is happening, is so much more difficult. And this is something that I have stood behind between you and I. When it comes to certain scenes, it's like you're gonna feel it. It's gonna be different than reading it. And Poison is one of those things that I took a very keen interest to. And, you know, moving forward from that, though, we have soon after Poison, we have a scene that happens with Angel Dust and Husker. And I know your favorite song is Loser Baby.
Yeah.
And we were drunkenly and very high. We were both duetting the motherfucker.
Did not sound as well as you think it would. I'm sorry,
Not at
folks.
all, no.
You think it
However,
would sound like a fucking two angelic voices coming together to meet onto one. No, it sounded like two drunk redneck girls in the shower.
what's really funny, what's going to blow your mind is I wasn't singing the part of Husker. The deep voice guy wasn't singing the part of Husker. I was singing Angel's part. But the fact of the matter is that there is a scene that precedes Loser Baby.
I don't want to talk about it again.
And there is some extraordinarily deep, harsh, very disturbing lines that come from the character of Angel Dust. And to be able to be the one to introduce Gibby to this is kind of like a joy of mine. Not in a sadistic way, but in the idea that you're discovering media for the first time in this way. And I really took a lot of pleasure in you realizing just the true gravity of what Loser Baby meant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, if you listen to the song, it's kind of a joyful, like, "Hey, we're both pieces of shit." It's kind of just we're just in out. Let's accept this, like we're both pieces of shit. But
Yep.
but the fact that it follows from that little, it's not. It's a slight exchange. There's more of a monologue from Angel Dust, but Husker has his inputs in there. But the whole scene is basically saying, "Look, I know I'm fucking fake. Like you don't have to tell me, you don't have to remind me." And that's something that comes up a lot is Husker will call Angel out and be like, "You're fucking fake, dude. Like if you want me to believe the bullshit you're spewing, show me the real you. But if you're just going to keep doing this fake shit, I do not care. I do not give a fuck what you have to do right now." So before Loser Baby, we get a monologue of Angel Dust being like, "Look, I know I'm fake. You don't have to remind me." Then this part is where it fucks me. It's like, I do the things I do to destroy myself. Because if I destroy myself, maybe I won't be his favorite toy anymore. And when I heard that, I was like, I told Deadman here, I had to stop it and walk, like go get coffee or something. Like I had to walk away from
We had
that
to
scene.
take a break, yeah.
Because that is a heavy fucking line.
It is.
Especially if you've been in relationships that are abusive and people
Toxic.
fuck with you mentally. Yeah. Like it will fuck your whole world up. So hearing if I destroy myself, maybe I won't be his favorite toy. You're just like, oh, honey child, I know exactly what that feels like. Ooh.
And
this is where you speak.
and you know the way that the scene ended, of course, we have a little bit of a heartfelt moment between Husker and Angel Dust, and it goes on from there. And it is a fun episode, but the gravity of it is just so much fucking more. It's important in this type of media because you can have a lot of fun with the Hazbin Hotel on the surface, but delving just a little bit deeper, and especially with the songs that you identify with, makes it kind of important in a way. But
I mean, really, the only songs that I could resonate with, like I'll listen to all of it. Like it has an amazing fucking score, like perfect score, perfect soundtrack. But I mean, really, the only two that'll probably stick out to me are Poison and Loser Baby. The rest of them are just like, just okay.
I would like to believe that, but there is songs like the next episode from Dad Beat Dad. The subtle jabs between Lucifer and Alistair are fucking hilarious. It is it's some of the best music in there, and honestly, introducing the character of Lucifer is really fun. And moving past Dad Beat Dad and the whole musical number between Lucifer and Alistair is hilarious. But then we have this giant scene where Mimsy comes in. Mimsy's a third-party character. She's really not important in the overall scheme of things. But she brings a lot of backstory about Alistair, the radio demon. And
Could have swore they were trying to do a Rip Taylor. I thought
a
that's what
little
they were
bit,
trying to do.
right? A little bit, honestly, yeah. But bringing this very oddly sophisticated horror of what Alistair is was kind of refreshing. I must add, like the whole hell theme, like you kind of, after a while, you kind of forget that this whole thing takes place in hell, but introducing part of Alistair's backstory, it's horrifying. It really is.
We need more.
Oh, I want more. You know, Alistair's my favorite.
I don't give a fuck what none of you nerds have to say about your head cannons. I want actual lore. So don't hit me with the, no, I want actual fucking Vizzy Pop to go make a video, make a tweet saying, all right, here's the entire story of Alistair. Now shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your stupid shit that you write. This is the lore. Now shut up and accept it. Sorry, that's a whole tangent about fucking fandom nerds.
No, go off on it. Honestly, we're here.
Okay. Stop writing shows that you like. You can have your head canons, okay? But if somebody comes up to you and it's like, hey, this is official, this is from the person who made the fucking show, shut up about it. Your head canon doesn't exist to everybody. Not everybody cares that you want Angel Husk to be, a thing canonically. Because the whole time I thought they were going to fuck too, so don't feel too bad. I really thought it was going to happen the day before the fight, though. Like, that's what my money was on. But anyways, stop telling people it's canon if it's not made by the official person.
Not only that, but
If it's not made by the official person, shut up about it.
Let's also talk about the fact that you're going against what the characters are. Like, there's so many weird ships about Alistair and Lucifer when we know for a fucking fact that Alistair is asexual, aromantic.
Sorry, that was about to be real fucked up. Whoops. For people that only know about gay, straight, and barely know bisexual, that means it don't matter if it's got a cooter, if it's got a pecker. You love it no matter what.
No, asexual means you have no sexual attraction or desire. Aromantic means you have no romantic leanings towards one gender or another. It means you are completely and utterly cut off from sexuality. And Alistair is asexual. We have this confirmed in the show. But getting back to the show, because you know what, that is a really good tangent about headcanons running wild. Especially when you have a character like Alistair who's not completely fleshed out and the rules aren't laid out bare. You know, these fucking people are like, oh, well, I'm going to ship Alistair and Charlie. I'm going to ship Alistair and so. And it's like, Alistair's asexual and aromantic.
You people that ship characters disgust me. You are filth. You have always been filth. You have been filth since the Dan and Phil days on YouTube. You are sick fucks, and I hope you never get help because there is no helping. I think furries could be more helpful in society than you gross motherfuckers.
I agree.
And I stopped it. I hated y'all, but not enough to be vocal about it. No, the people I want. God, that means I got to turn my camera on, and I just don't want to do that. I want you, Deadman, look directly in the camera for me. The best you can, like dead serious, like deadpan look, like no emotion whatsoever. Okay, I want you to look this man dead in his eyes, and I want you to know this: I had no problem with shippers. Okay, you guys are gross, but I ignored it. You want to know what my line and the I want it all to fucking end? You My Hero Academia shippers. Oh. You guys are disgusting. You guys are gross. They are children. Enough. Cut it off. Stop. And go take showers because we all agree you're the stinkiest fan base to exist. don't. This is just me shitting on you guys. I am all caught up on the manga. So if you want to come and be like, oh, you're probably just an anime watcher. Fuck you. I'm a manga reader, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew, I gotta give my voice a break. That one strained it.
Yeah. So I mean, no, that's it's wonderful. After after the radio demon demonstration outside the hotel, something kind of wonderful happened for Gibby, kind of seeing Alistair being a cannibal and seeing the real kind of power that Alistair has was really fun because while it is essentially horrifying to see him eat his own kind and be just this general menace, we have this really touching song, more than anything, between Charlie and Lucifer.
Ah, I love that song so fucking
It really
much.
is such a good fucking song.
Oh, it's like I say, they they have a very weird dynamic to begin with.
Very.
Like they her and her father have a very weird dynamic to begin with. Like it's very parent child don't talk a lot, so it's a very awkward interaction.
Yeah,
And of course you're
it's
gonna
like when the parent wants to be a friend rather than a parent.
right. And then, of course the conversation happens of like, can you get me into heaven? And he's like, I can, but they're gonna do the same thing to you that they did to me. Like it's not gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy like you think it is. And the moment she said, the reason I do what I do is because I remember all of the stories you told me, all of the ideas that you told me. And that made me want to do what I do, which I thought was a very, very heartfelt moment.
It was little Charlie with the musical notes on her pajamas was fucking cute as fuck.
It was something. I didn't notice that much detail.
Yeah. So
So we keep
move,
on moving on.
moving past that, we have Welcome to Heaven. Of course, we have the meeting between Charlie and
Oh,
Baggy.
that court scene
It was
was
so good,
great.
so good. We have Angel standing up to Val. It's a really good episode for like the forwarding of the story, and then we have Hello Rosie, which is the episode after that. I don't want to spend too much time on like specific episodes because sometimes they're really fucking deep and meaningful, and you have to watch them for yourself.
You
Hello Rosie,
do.
you have to watch them for yourself. Hello Rosie was one of those episodes where, of course, it's the preparation for the big battle, but we also have somebody striking a deal with Alistair. And in striking a deal with Alistair, we see once again the horrific imagery of what the fucking radio demon is. And I think the artwork is just absolutely mind blowing when it comes to the radio demon. But seeing Charlie interact with the radio demon, because Charlie has a very specific look to her, especially when she goes like full demon with the horns and everything. Seeing the radio demon with the green writing and the symbols, especially after what he does to Husker, is it brings gravity, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I don't think you expected Gibby, and I don't think you expected this kind of gravity to come from such a lighthearted type of show.
I like I said, I came into this from Hell of a Boss, and Hell of a Boss is one of those shows where it has its moments,
Yeah,
but they're not boom, 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 boom. Every episode, every single one has a heartfelt moment to it. So when I came into this, I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting maybe a heavy moment here, heavy moment there. It's all no. There was not an episode where something heavy was like, oh, ouch. Didn't need that. Or there was a lot more to that than I thought there was. Like the courtroom scene. Courtroom scene was definitely one where you're like, wow, angels are kind of pricks.
very much so. Like this is the image I constantly pause on. I'm sharing an image with Gibby. I know you all can't see it, but this is something Gibby really commented on, was the radio dials and the smile that Alistair has.
Was the radio dials in the eye that really got it for me, because obviously Radio Demon, I didn't think they go that far as to do his eyes like that, which again, this is not a show I will not give credit to. I just won't watch it 2 times. That's it.
And the idea that when certain aspects happen in this show, even the show glitches out because it's playing by the rules of the universe set, and I think that's really neat.
It's them little details that make you really appreciate something.
It really is, though.
I make that as a joke, but it really is just small stuff like that that just
Then we have
adds a little frosting flowers
It
on top
is.
of an already frosted cake.
then we have the showdown between Baggy and what's her name, Carmilla, which is honestly a really cool scene because we get a really big piece of information that you have to fight for love in order to defeat the enemy. And this is something I pointed out to Gibby that was so important because I wanted you to keep that in mind when we were watching the last episode. And the reason that the last episode, somebody got injured in the last episode, we're not going to spoil it, but somebody got severely injured, then had to run from the fight. And in the episode, they were the only one not fighting for love. Did you notice that?
I guess I didn't. Now that I think about it, I guess I didn't. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were.
Nope.
Yes, they were in the final fight.
Oh, no, not the character I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. I got nothing on that one.
Hang on. I'll grab the scene for you because it's important for this.
Ah, damn it. This is what happens when you get extremely high and you miss small details and then watch a show with somebody who indulges himself in the small details.
Why? Because this is like my favorite type of shit.
And don't worry, folks. If you are the boyfriend who knows extremely niche YouTube shit, don't feel bad. It's not always the women.
This fight.
Oh, that's right. Because it really doesn't affect him or not.
Nope. The only one not fighting for love was the only one that got gravely injured.
Yeah, he was just fight. I mean, if you're watching this, you have basically finished it, okay? Because you are not going to listen to this much Hazbin Hotel and not expect some spoilers. So if you haven't finished it, go finish. We do a lot of these. If you haven't finished it, go watch it. Come back and listen to this because I'm going to fucking talk about that. You're not going to blue ball me like that and try and run away from that conversation because he got royally fucked up. And you are right. Because even Alistair had a fucking plan.
Uh-huh.
He had a plan that he had an idea that may not be love in the most normal sense of the term, but he loved and craved the power that he used to have.
Yeah.
And the only person, again, that didn't fight for love was Adam. He just wanted to kill somebody. Like that, he just wanted to kill demons. That's what he wanted to do. And I also love the fact that they made Adam such a gigantic piece of shit. Like the biggest fucking tool to exist. Oh no. Oh no.
It's one of those small details that is so important because of what happens. And we get even more information about the radio demon subsequent to this. So let's talk about the grand finale, right? Because Adam's such
Gets
a
his
cock.
shit pushed in. He gets his shit pushed in.
By none other than
Lucifer.
And one thing I talked about when we were going through all this was that, yeah, it's kind of a biblical thing, but there is so much taken from like the Book of Enoch, but more specifically taken from Paradise Lost. And in Paradise Lost by Milton, there is so much given that's not in the Bible. And this is where most of Hazbin Hotel comes from. And I think it's really entertaining because I know you've read Paradise Lost.
I have. That was a very long read for somebody who has a short attention span.
And we have things like cannibalism. And we have the reason that Alistair is a deer. And we have a lot of things like that that happen. So this is such a cool, like, oh, you kind of have to be a literary nerd. Just skipping the other word. A literary nerd to know the backstory behind this. Yeah.
I mean, you are of the homosexual nature, so like
Femboys.
that's oh yeah, femboy. Yep. Yeah, that word, that F word. Okay. I don't know where to go off that joke whatsoever. God damn.
Easily. Fucking angel list. Anyways. So let's I guess let's
The
go ahead
last
and
fight was good. Again, the animators, when it comes to VisiPop shit, and I said this in the when we were talking about Hell of a Boss, which was not on the show, so that's not something you got to look for. But when we were talking about Hell of a Boss, I said whenever they wanted to flex their animation muscles, they would either do a big song and dance or a gigantic fight scene, like when they all fight the CIA. That was the animators being like, hey, you want to see us, do work and you want us to shit on other things? Here you go. Boom. You get that. And it is so beautiful. It is so fluent. There is not even a frame where you could think, that could have been better. It was all just one fluent motion between the entire fight. And that carried over to this. And I am so excited about it. Could have had a lot more fight scenes, like a fuck ton, but I'm glad we got what we got.
And not only that, there's so much of these visuals that kind of turn out to be hilarious in the end. Also kind of horrifying in the end because like God, like the visuals switch so rapidly between like, oh, enduring Charlie and like that's the princess of hell. Also, Alistair being Alistair, and also watching certain scenes, like the one I have kind of currently paused, and I'll share it real quick so you can see and talk about it. This is horrifying.
That was fucking cool. That was awesome. And to see all those demons jump out at him at once, I was like, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you and your holy crusade, you pretentious pop fucking knob washer.
Yeah. And I have to
I
say
did like
that,
Adam's mask, though. I did like that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't expect that to be a mask. I thought that was his face.
Yeah.
That's why I was so confused when he got his face smashed in. Because I was like, wouldn't he be dead? And then it's like, oh, that's right. He is a human. That makes sense. I don't know why that took me till the end of the show to realize that. There's just a lot of good moments in there, people. If you haven't watched it, you could watch it very legally on various websites.
Yeah, especially if you have Amazon.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Yo ho, it's where I watch stuff for free. Now we're One Piece. Don't you fucking bring up that stupid.
We're straw hat pirates.
Well, one of us is. The other one really could give a fuck less about it.
I love One Piece. I love Luffy. I just don't care for the length of it. That's another discussion altogether. Now, I guess to wrap all this up is that the whole point of this episode was how themes in media and how aspects of media that we take on such a surface level, once scratched beneath the surface, becomes so much more. And I think Hazbin Hotel is one of the perfect examples of that. And Invincible is also one of the more prominent examples of that, especially with season 2 and Angstrom Levy and the way that things are handled. I think that,
Season 3 is gonna be fucking wicked. I know it is.
especially if it starts off with what we think it's going to start off with.
Please. I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much in this lifetime. Make this one. Make this one thing that lasts.
And I think that media literacy has been something that's been lacking in our generation, or sense of media lately. And
I say the good end of 5 years. Good end of 5 years, we haven't had much to really talk about.
I'd go length of 10, honestly. Media literacy has been so watered down that if it's literally not spelled out, quite literally spelled out, like you don't grab the audience by the neck and go, "Hey, listen, this is a bad guy. This guy's not good. He's a bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. You shouldn't like him. Bad guy." It's so fucking ridiculous the amount of people on social media that try to aggrandize or worship certain figures. It's I don't give a fuck what you have in common with them. They're bad people, or they're a morally great character for a fucking reason. And I think one of the biggest examples of this was the idea that the monster fucker genre of all this shit finally came to the and this is a thing for those of you who watch or listen to the podcast Daddy Variety Show are very, very aware of these weird fandoms and kinks that come out. Oh, well, they're a monster. I want to fucking ride them to the OK Corral. And it wasn't until they figured out that Pennywise, the child-eating, multi-dimensional fucking monster, wasn't an ally, that you gave up on him. Fuck off. He's a child-eating interdimensional monster. And it wasn't until you realized that he was teasing Richie in the second movie. Oh, he's not an ally. We can't exactly lust. Oh, shut the fuck up. Take your shit and get the fuck out of the fandom. I hate that shit so much.
So for the people that have felt the touch of a woman or another human being in general, I didn't know shit about this, so that's why I didn't say a word, because I don't know a fucking thing. I didn't know people wanted to fuck Pennywise, for one, so that's news to me. And two, it's a fictional clown. Why are we so worried if it's an ally or not? I feel like that is at the bottom of the scrotum totem pole. I mean, I agree with you. I hate fandoms too. I think they're stupid because the good people don't get talked about. It's always the weird ones that want to butt fuck the giant monster. And you're like, can't I just have a normal thing for once? Like, can't we just have fiction where you don't want to fuck something? Or are we just past that point in degeneracy?
It's just, I don't mind degeneracy. I don't mind lusting after a morally great. I don't mind any of that shit. But what I mind is that, it takes this for you to realize that this character should not be idolized in any way or form. Kind of like the same fucking idiots that idolize somebody like Tyler Durden from Fight Club. Like, you are not meant to like this character. He's a piece of shit. Like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec is not a good person. He is not a person you should be idolizing. Even the guy who fucking plays him lets you know he's not a good person. You should not be idolizing this type of character. And in doing
people
so,
who idolize Eric Cartman need to quietly sit back right now.
Yeah.
Like people who like
honestly.
Eric. And that's why I'm not saying a word about this, because I love Eric Cartman. So I'm just going to sit down and shut up.
And you can love whoever you want to love. I'm fucking fine with that. I'm not telling you not to. What I'm telling you is that there are characters specifically meant to not be the example. For you to not, as an audience, embrace them and go, well, I love them so much. This is coming from a fucking Joker fan. All right, I know what the Joker is. I make no qualms and I make no excuses for what he is. I understand completely what the Joker is. He is a genocidal, homicidal, maniac, piece of shit, garbage human being. The same way I love Negan. Negan is a coward. He is a shit talker. He is a power trip hungry bitch. I love these characters for what they are in the world. I do not in any way idolize them outside of that. This fucking concept of it drives me insane. And because I am a Negan fan, yeah, I have Negan feeds on certain social media apps. And there was this the fanfic, AO3 once again coming into the goddamn fray. AO3 talking about, oh, I'm gonna make Negan love me in this AO3 fucking Negan X whatever reader fucking fanfic. And I had to comment. And I got so much hate for it. Negan wouldn't love you. Nor could you ever change his mind. Negan has only loved one person and one person ever. You
That's
are
why his
not
bat's
that
named
person.
the way it is.
Lucille.
That's the only reason the bat's named why it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't know that, don't you fucking come at me for that. That's a you problem at that point.
That is definitely your problem. And yeah, and so people that ignore the canon, ignore what the character was written for, or ignore what the lesson of the character is, you piss me off more than anything else. And this is a podcast, Daddy Variety Show. We tell the truth here, and so this is a take you're not going to hear anywhere else from the Deadman. This is it. Listen closely. I don't give a fuck. No, you're not supposed to like. What's his name from Taxi Driver? You're not supposed to like Negan. You're not even supposed to like Alistair. Alistair is a cannibal and an evil, manipulative piece of shit. You are not supposed to like these characters outside of what they are in the world. And if you
For
do,
all of us that are actual fans of this, please sit down and shut the fuck up quietly. Like, just do not say a word.
And if you do, I don't care. Your opinion means fuck all to me. Now this is where you talk.
Oh, that was it. I thought that, man, I got half a Starburst in my mouth. What are you doing stopping in the middle of this?
Motherfucker.
Hey, look, okay.
I've ranted enough.
What does that say under my name? High as fuck? Okay, cool. So
what is it saying in mine right here?
Okay, so me wanting Starburst in the middle of a show, you can bite me. I'm not gonna wait for it. No, fuck fandoms. I've already said what I got to say about fandoms. You guys are fucking creeps, weirdos, and you make everybody else who watches and consumes media, you make them look like fucking weirdos, and that's why people don't come to your communities. Like, it's not even gatekeeping.
No.
At that point, it's past gatekeeping. It's you just being creepy fucks. Like, oh, I bet Deku and his mom, like, ew. Okay, first of all, ew. Like, it's no stepmom shit. No, that's his actual mother. Yeah. Or the person that wrote Deku and All Might fan fiction. Can't unread that. Can't unsee that. That now exists in my brain. So fuck you. Yeah, and all you people are fucking weird. So that's where I stand on that. I don't like half y'all.
Neither do I. No, and you want to know what the turning point for me
you
was?
You Berserk fanboys are the fucking second. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Right, you guys are the fucking second. Don't you look me dead in my eyes and tell me Griffith did nothing wrong. You need therapy. Go see it.
Who the fuck?
A lot.
Oh,
I've seen it a lot.
No.
Yep.
No.
Those are the same people that'll post the horse demon And you know what the horse demon does?
I do.
And yeah, and they're like, I see nothing wrong with this. It's those people. All right. So let's not act like you're gonna say, oh, it's a good story. It is a great story. I love it. I love Berserk. Hate the fans. That's how it is with a lot of things.
If you believe that Griffin did nothing wrong,
You need therapy.
get the fuck out of any fandom ever.
Go get therapy.
And therapy, please, yes.
Go tell your mom you hate her.
Because
Go tell your sister that she's an ugly tramp. Go tell your dad that his balls are the size of peas. Sorry. Same word, different letter. The size of peas. Because you're disappointing everybody you know by saying Griffith did nothing wrong. You fucking creep ass.
yeah,
Okay,
and mind you, once again, I love these characters for what they are in the world. I have no problem with that. Just past that, trying to justify or dismiss actions of these characters is disservice to the character itself. Moving past that, I say that media literacy is just so down into dumps right now. And I think that's one of the reasons you and I enjoy this back and forth that you and I usually have when we rarely get to watch stuff together. Like when you were on VT Network, we watched a whole lot of stuff together. We watched music videos and you know, pilots and stuff like that. We got to discuss it a little bit more in depth, and because this is the Podcast Daddy Variety Show, we get to be a little bit more brutal than we are on VT Network, because VT Network is very much it's very much for your entertainment and analytics. But here
The Podcast Daddy Show. You went to the Terror Dome. You be ready to get in the Terror Dome, motherfucker.
Yeah, here we're going for the kneecaps.
I'm going for your kneecaps, your shins, your ankles, your little piggies. I'm going for your fucking duodenum. That's what I'm going for.
No shit.
That's what it's called. That's that fucking dangly thing in the back of your. That's called a duodenum. I knew it. Who was I arguing with? Don't tell me I'm Don't tell me I'm wrong.
The duodenum?
The duodenum is that thing that hangs in the back of your fucking throat.
Were you listening to the WAP?
Shut up. No, I heard it somewhere. I heard the word duodenum, and I was like, oh, that's that fucking dangly thing in your throat. Somebody's like, no, it's not. It's called insert this, and I can't remember at this time or place. But no.
That's the uvula.
Uvula. Yeah, I knew it was that. I was just using the longer word for some reason.
Duodenum is not that.
Then what the fuck's a duodenum? What the fuck is a duodenum?
Oh, God.
What?
The duodenum connects your stomach to your intestines.
Fuck, I owe somebody $5.
I think we're good on that. I think that's the show. What do you think?
God damn it. Yeah, it's a show. I just fucking embarrassed myself. That's so fun. That's so cool. Guess who doesn't know what a uvula is, but know what the fucking connecting part of a stomach and intestines are? This goofy fuck right here.
I love you
So apparently I know where to talk my shit. I just don't know where to stop it.
Oh, no. Here's the big question. Why the fuck do I know what a duodenum is?
Because you searched it up on your phone, you drunk bastard. Don't you act like a...
I'm answering text messages on my phone.
No, the fuck you weren't. You
was.
were not, you lying bitch.
I'll show you after the show.
No, the fuck you weren't. You were sitting there looking up. Because you
I don't know how to spell duodenum.
No, I know it. I know you're full of shit. Okay, and this is why I have scientific fucking evidence to prove it.
What the? Hold on. How the fuck do you spell duodenum?
Okay, we're gonna play the how do you spell it now. No, it is
hold on.
by science.
I really do want to know now. Because I know what a uvula is, because that was a TikTok thing in the early days of TikTok. When they were like, show me your uvula. And all these women were like, oh, no, I'm not going to show you that. And the people would just open their mouths and be like, "Oh yeah, that's your uvula." Why the fuck do I know what a duodenum is? That's
And he
the
is
question
he
I'm
is running
fucking
away.
around with.
He is running away from me, rolling his ass up, looking it up.
Huh?
I'm trying to explain this with natural science, okay? And he's
Okay.
dodging the question because he knows what my scientific proof is.
What's that?
My scientific proof. Do your research. Listen to old VT network shows, okay? And there's a certain point in an
That's not it.
episode. If you notice, when Deadman talks about something, he for surely knows. He will fire off so fast that it will make your head spin with how fast he answers what X thing is. Now, just like what happened a couple minutes ago, he's like, "Oh, I know what it is," and then it goes silent. He doesn't say a word for a solid minute, and then he talks it like he knows it. So that's why he's not stopping me from talking.
I did not know how to spell it. I found it, but I did not spell it
How do you?
that way.
Okay, excuse all that bullshit. How do you spell that fucking word?
Dude, I thought it was DUWODINM. I thought it was duodenum, right? No, that's not how you spell it. Apparently, I just found it. It is DUODENUM. Was that right?
What dumb fuck spelled that?
Yeah. Okay. So the duodenum is I was right about what it
What
is,
the fuck
but
else you're gonna call it?
I don't fucking know, dude. I spelled it wrong as fuck.
Imagine that guy actually had a legitimate name for it, but it got directed. It got like denied from the board. That name's organs. It's like fuck it. Call it duodenum. They won't if they can't take like my serious idea. Just fucking write duodenum.
Yeah, I know what a uvula is.
That.
I knew the uvula.
He's called that. He's like, "Oh fuck you guys."
Imagine it's like Joseph Duodenum or something. Like that's the dude's last name. Okay.
I am an heir to the duodenum fortune.
Oh my god. I am Joseph Duodenum the Third.
We talk a lot of shit in our family.
So let's go ahead and do the outro.
Yay.
It's your show.
Dude, I got Starburst in my fucking mouth. Can you just like cut me some slack for 5 minutes?
All right. For those of you watching, thank you so much for listening to the Podcast Daddy Variety Show. That's Gibby. I'm Deadman. And for those of you who aren't watching, please tune in or find him on all other social media as a podcast.
Tell your mom
daddy.
She's ugly.
Yeah.
Or she's a cow. Call her a heifer.
Except for Twitter, where you can find him at Enough Snuff.
Yeah, because fuck the Podcast Daddy handle.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening to the Podcast Daddy Variety Show. We'll see you next time. And for the love of fuck, it's getting hot out there. Everybody, of all genders, wash your balls.
Yeah, I fucked that up. You fucked that up, buddy.
What was it supposed to say?
Keep your balls clean.
Oh, keep your balls clean.
I gave you a chance. I
fucked it. This is your show.
I'm disappointed is what I am. Disappointed because you know what it is. Dead
Keep
man.
your balls
You know
clean.
exactly what it is. No, you fucked it up already. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure entertaining you on the Podcast Daddy Variety Show. As always, you can find this on any major podcasting platform that you listen to. And also, if I'm feeling frisky, might throw this up on YouTube for, you people that got to have visuals, you fucking children. Can't listen to something without visuals happening. You fucking children. That's what I am too, so I can't say shit. As always, if you enjoy this and you want to harass me on other social media platforms, you can find me on Twitter at Enough Snuff. And that's the one I'm giving out because I'm a little fried and that is a lot of talking. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. Have a great evening. And as always, please, it is getting up there in numbers. It was 96 this last week. Okay. And I know some of y'all are sweaty. Now I'm going to add something tonight. Simply because it is getting that weather. If you hand me any money from your bra or underwear, I'm going to break your nose. So please, no underwear money. And as always, keep your balls clean.